Hello everyone. It is a Friday afternoon, just about the end of November, and it's cold outside. I'm still recovering from this cold that I've had for the last 2 weeks. But because of the cold that I had, I didn't get nearly as much reading done this month as I had wanted to. So I thought today I would spend most of my afternoon reading. I'm going to do some reading sprints myself. Usually when I do them, I set my timer for 50 minutes and then I take a 10-minute break, so it works out to an hour. So what I thought I'd do to make this more fun, and I thought I'd bring you guys in on it, is I have made a spinner wheel. So this is my spinner wheel with my 4 books that I'm currently in the middle of on it. So I have Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, and I am quite far in that one. I'm at page 204. So this one is a cozy fantasy. It follows an orc named Viv who decides that she doesn't want to be a mercenary anymore. She ends up going to this small town and starting a coffee shop. And so it's kind of a cozy fantasy following her adventure. It calls it a high fantasy with low stakes. So I'm almost done that one. Then I have Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. And this one I've actually only read the first chapters. I'm only on page 18. But I was hoping to get that one done this month. So I don't know how likely that'll be to happen. But Assassin's Apprentice is a high fantasy. It follows a character named Fitz. And he is born as the bastard son of one of the princes of this kingdom. He ends up being raised in the castle stables. And then because of the traditional magic that he has as a member of the Farseer family, he gets trained to be an assassin. So that's kind of all I know about it. I've only read the first chapter. Then I have Bernard Cornwell's The Pale Horseman. This is the second one in his Uhtred of Bebbanburg series. I'm on page 152, so I'm getting fairly far into that one. This one follows Uhtred, who's a young man from Northumbria. In the first book, he gets his kingdom, the kingdom of Northumbria, gets attacked by the Danes, and his father gets killed, and he gets captured and then raised by the Danes. So he's trained as a warrior in the Viking tradition. And then over time, his paths cross with Alfred of Wessex, who's the king of the last kingdom that's still standing against the Danes. And so this continues his saga. And in this one, he is in his early 20s. And the last one that I have is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This is a thriller that is set in a remote, at a remote location. These 5 writers have gotten chosen to go to a special writing retreat with a woman named Rosa Vallow, who's a feminist horror writer who they've all admired for years. And they all get chosen to go to this special retreat. And when they get there, they're told that they have to write an entire novel during this month. And whoever writes the best one will get a 6-figure publishing deal. So that's the main premise of it. There's also a lot of conflict between our main character, Alex, and a woman who used to be her best friend, who is also at the retreat. So there's that big conflict going on there. And then apparently, according to the cover, one of the writers vanishes during a snowstorm. And so then that's when the thriller aspect starts. I'm actually on page 102, so I'm about a third of the way through. And I want to, thank you, Stevie. And I want to try and finish this one as well, if I can, and see where I get with that. So those are the 4 books that I'm planning on reading. So I've created this spinner wheel here. And I've got all 4 books on it, and I've got them, they're on there twice. So we are going to spin it and see which book I read for the first 50-minute reading sprint, and then I'll spin it again and see what I read for the next one, and spin it again and see what I read for the next one, and we'll just see how far we go and what we find. And we'll spend this nice cold day. It's about minus minus 20 out there Celsius. So we'll spend this nice cold day curled up on the couch and do some reading. So let's give it our first spin. What do we get? We are going to start with Writing Retreat. Okay, so for the first 50-minute sprint, I will be reading The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. And I will let you guys know when my 50-minute sprint is up. Okay, my first 50-minute reading sprint is up, and I ended up getting 37 more pages read in the Writing Retreat. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. I'll be telling more about these books when I actually finish them in the vlogs they're for, but I'm essentially 50% into the book, and nothing really thrillery has happened. It's kind of, there's a lot of mood build up and relationship build up, but not a lot of thrillery stuff has happened yet. But it is somewhat interesting, so we'll keep going on that one. So I'm going to take a 10-minute break and just relax for 10 minutes, but I figured I would spin the wheel and select the book that I'm going to read for my next reading sprint. So we're back to our same thingy here, our little wheel. Let's spin it and see what we're reading next. The Writing Retreat again. Okay, I'm going to spin it one more time. We are reading, Assassin's Apprentice for the next sprint. So I'm going to, I just didn't feel like reading the same thing again. So it's kind of cheating, I guess. But so I'm going to read a little bit of Assassin's Apprentice for my next reading sprint. And I will come back and see you guys again after I've read for another 50 minutes, after I take a bit of a 10-minute break. So see you guys soon. Okay, the lighting's not the greatest, but I finished that reading sprint. I got to page 44. To 44. So that means that I read about 25 pages, but their writing's quite a bit smaller in this one. So I am going to be headed off to do some chores and have some supper, but I thought I would go ahead and pick my next book for the next sprint before I do that. So let us spin our wheel again. Here's the wheel. I don't know if we can see it here. There we go. Let's spin. So for my next one, I will be reading Legends and Lattes. So I will go and have some supper and do my chores, and then I will sit down and read a little bit of Legends and Lattes. Okay, finished a reading sprint and finished a book. So I finished Legends and Lattes. I will have more thoughts about this in my video where I was actually reading this for, but I definitely found it to be an enjoyable read, but a bit of a slow read for me. I'm not sure if I am a cozy fantasy person or not. I'll have to see. I'm more enjoying the sword fighting sort of fantasy than the cozy fantasy so much. But it was enjoyable. The characters were really fun, and it's the kind of book that I would like to have, beside my bed to read at night before I go to bed, because it's not a whole lot happens, and it's not scary, or you don't get to the next page and be like, oh my gosh, what happens next? So. But anyways, I finished that one. So we are going to keep going and spin our wheel again to see which of the other 3 books I will read for my next one. Now I still have Legends and Lattes on here, so let me see if I need to get it so you can see it. Come here. Move it over here. There we go. Okay, we will spin. If it comes up with Legends and Lattes, I'll just have to switch. We are going to read The Pale Horseman, the one that I haven't read yet today. So this is The Pale Horseman by Bernard Cornwell, which I told you guys a little bit about, and I'm looking forward to continuing, because last night I was kind of reading ahead a couple of pages, but just kind of skimming it, so I need to actually read it, and I will do another reading sprint and let you guys know how that goes. I don't think when I talked about this one here, I don't think I mentioned much about it, other than that I'm quite enjoying it so far. There's a lot of world building going on right now as you're getting the story of when Fitz was younger. So that, I think I am going to actually enjoy this series, definitely. And yeah, I'm going to give this one a bit more of a read. Hello, everyone. Well, it is the next morning. I ended up actually reading The Pale Horseman for a couple of hours because I got really into it. And then it was too late to record last night. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I ended up getting from about 30% up to 60%. So that's pretty awesome. It's definitely a good book. It's kind of funny when I read those historical ones set in the Viking era and everything. I'll spend like the first half of the book, worrying about, well, what's going to happen? Is this character going to live? Is that character going to live? Da, 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 da. And then I get to about halfway and I'm just like, oh my God, fighting. And it's just, I get really into it. So yeah, I'm at about 60% on that one. So we'll see. I have a little bit of time today yet to read before the end of the month. We'll see if I actually finish another book or not. But it definitely went well yesterday. I had a good time, and I will get this posted, and then it'll be time to do my monthly wrap up and play my TBR game for December. So we'll see how that goes. And I will see you guys soon on my next video. Bye.